It all began on a quiet Thursday evening. My wife, Clara, and I were having dinner, though dinner had become more of a routine than an intimate experience over the years. She looked at me with that familiar smirk, the one that used to make my heart flutter, but now only filled me with suspicion. "Don't expect any special treatment tonight," she said, almost casually, stirring her wine. Her words weren't an apology or a warning. They were a challenge, a line drawn between us. I nodded politely, hiding the storm brewing inside me. Special treatment? I had learned long ago that Clara had a way of testing boundaries, of pushing me to the edge, and tonight was no different. Earlier that week, I had stumbled across something I hadn't expected. Messages on her phone, deleted conversations that somehow, miraculously, I managed to recover. They weren't just flirtations. They were plans, late-night meetings, laughter shared in secrecy that I had never been part of. Her warning tonight wasn't a joke, it was arrogance. She wanted me to know she was untouchable, that my feelings no longer mattered, and that she thrived on my compliance. I pushed my anger down, focusing on the image of a calm, collected husband. That's what she expected, a man who'd ignore the betrayal and continue to provide comfort while she explored whatever thrills she wanted. But she underestimated me. She underestimated the power of cold, calculated revenge. The next day, I watched her prepare for what she claimed was a casual evening out with friends. She didn't bother hiding her excitement, or perhaps she thought I was too dull to notice. I observed quietly, pretending to read a newspaper while I planned my own evening. I didn't need to confront her directly. Confrontation was too messy, too predictable. Instead, I decided to dismantle the world she thought she controlled. First, I accessed her schedule through her calendar app. Meetings, dinners, even casual coffee breaks, everything meticulously noted. I made a few subtle adjustments, sending fake confirmations, arranging for double bookings, ensuring that anyone she expected to see would find themselves inconvenienced or unavailable. It wasn't chaotic yet, just a hint of disruption. Then came the digital part. Clara's career had always been her pride, and her emails were her secret weapon. I didn't need to read her personal messages. I just needed access to her professional image. I crafted a simple yet devastating email to her boss, one that hinted at serious ethical concerns and potential improprieties, crafted carefully to seem like an anonymous tip from a concerned colleague. I didn't sign it. I didn't have to. By the time she opened her laptop that night, the seeds of doubt were already planted. The evening arrived. Clara got ready with her usual flair, taking extra time in front of the mirror, selecting the perfect outfit to impress her friends, or perhaps the men she had been secretly meeting. She glanced at me briefly, the smirk returning. "I warned you," she said. "Don't expect anything special." I smiled faintly, too calm, too controlled. She left, confident, unaware that her carefully constructed life was about to wobble. I followed discreetly at a distance, ensuring she reached her destination without suspicion. Then, as if on cue, the chaos began. Her friends arrived late, messages from her contacts went unanswered or were misdirected, and her carefully laid plans started to unravel. She tried calling me, texting, but I maintained silence, letting the frustration build inside her. Every small inconvenience was a mirror of the betrayal she had inflicted on our marriage. The final act was waiting at home. I had arranged for her most personal secret to become public, not in a humiliating way, but in a way she couldn't deny. The messages I had recovered were now printed, organized, and placed neatly on the dining table where she would return. Alongside them, I left a note simple and icy. "You warned me not to expect special treatment. Consider this your first lesson." When Clara returned, she walked in expecting warmth, expecting perhaps a subtle hint that I knew something but would forgive. Instead, the air hit her like ice. The printed messages stared back at her, each word a confirmation of the betrayal she thought she had hidden. Her eyes widened, and for the first time in years, I saw panic replace arrogance. Her mouth opened, trying to form excuses, but no words came out. The wine glass trembled in her hand as she realized the depth of my awareness and my restraint. I sat down calmly, picking up my own glass. "Special treatment?" I asked softly, letting the words linger in the tense silence. "I think you already had more than enough." She looked around frantically, but there was no one to blame, no escape. Every secret she had thought safe was now exposed in the coldest way possible. Through truth, through clarity, and through my control of the situation. Over the next few days, the repercussions spread. Her reputation at work became fragile. Colleagues who had admired her started questioning decisions, alliances, and motives. She confronted me, pleading, angry, desperate, but I stayed silent. Every request, every argument, every tear only reminded me that she had underestimated me for too long. Weeks later, after the initial shock faded, she approached me again, calmer but wary. She began, but I cut her off. You warned me not to expect special treatment. I didn't. And now you're seeing what that looks like. My tone was even, almost gentle, yet there was an unmistakable edge. For the first time, she seemed truly small, stripped of the power she had wielded so effortlessly. I didn't humiliate her beyond what was necessary. Revenge, I realized, was most potent when it was precise, surgical, and unavoidable. She learned that night, and in the following weeks, that I was not a man to be trifled with. She couldn't charm her way out of consequences, nor could she manipulate me into forgiveness. My calm, calculated response taught her a lesson she would never forget. Betrayal could be met with cold precision, not anger, not violence, but a clarity that left no room for denial. In the end, Clara learned the hard way that the world doesn't revolve around those who betray others, and that sometimes the coldest revenge is simply showing that you don't bend to manipulation or deceit. I didn't shout, I didn't scream, and I didn't ruin her completely, but I ensured she understood, finally, what it means to underestimate the person you've wronged. And in that quiet, ruthless clarity, I found my own sense of justice, my own restoration of dignity, and my own peace.